All praises to the Most High and His beloved Son forever and ever. Rurouni Kenshin proves that God is real. The whole earth is full of God's glory. The Bible are records of the best stories about the men and women of God. They weren't perfect. No one is perfect, but we can learn from these people, the servants of God, from the Bible, because they hold the testimony of the cross of Jesus Christ, both in the Old and New Testament. Kenshin is King David. Let's start with the cross on his cheek. When you bear your cross as a Christian, it is a life of repentance. It is a lifestyle of doing good in the sight of God. King David was a man of war. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, prudent in manners, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him. David was a warrior of God, a man of war, a great, powerful warrior, just like Kenshin Humura was. King David was a great warrior. He was bad. 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 7. And the woman answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. When David was a great warrior, but when he committed adultery, he had to go through the rest of his life bearing his personal cross. God spared David, but he had to pay a terrible price for the grace God has given him after what he did. Obstacles, trials, tribulations was with him frequently after he laid with an already married woman, Bathsheba. Knowing that she was married, David sent Uriah, the husband of Bathsheba, to death. This is very extremely similar to what happened to Kenshin Humura in both the anime, movie, and graphic novels. Kenshin Humura was also a man of war. He was the best samurai. He was good at what he did. He was bad. Like David, the woman sang, David has slain his 10,000s. Kenshin was also a man of war. He was powerful, so mighty. His nickname is Botosai the Manslayer. In the movie, they just call him the Kill Sword. Eventually, Kenshin was instructed to kill Akira, the fiance of Tomoe, the daughter of a low-ranking samurai family, who is Kenshin's first wife before he married Kaoru. You see the similarities? Tomoe leaves home in order to avenge her fiancé. After tracking the Batosai or Kenshin, she slowly falls in love with him instead. They later had 4 children. As the Yaminabu closed their net around Batosai or Kenshin, Tomoe intervenes, saving her new husband's life. She got in the way. Kenshin accidentally killed her. She was cut down by Kenshin's own sword. As such, Tomoe becomes Kenshin's primary motivation in his oath to never take another life following the end of the revolution and devote himself to protecting the innocent without bloodshed. The cross on his cheek represents the cross of Jesus Christ. Kenshin killed the man Akira, who was engaged to Tomoe. Sounds familiar, like David killed Uriah and later married Bathsheba. When Kenshin was fighting Akira, who was engaged to Tomoe, he gave him a scar on his cheek. Later, when Tomoe was about to, the new wife of Kenshin, when she was about to die, before her death, she purposely cut his scar into an X shape, a cross. The moment that God spared David's life, the moment that Kenshin received a scar, a completed cross scar from Tomoe, at that moment, they lived a repentant lifestyle, a life of repentance for both Kenshin and David. Kenshin, from that point on, he denied the path of being a murderer or an assassin. David sent Uriah, the husband of Bathsheba, who he committed adultery with, to death. And when God judged David, sparing his life, that was the moment that David too lived a repentant lifestyle in the eyes of God. Kenshin Himura is David. Some of y'all might disagree, but as it is written, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. When you have anime, video games, and movies that's very similar to the Bible, you should be able to feel the Spirit of the Lord. Like I said in the beginning, the whole earth is full of God's glory. In Rurouni Kenshin, after he killed the fiancée of Tomoe, Akira, after he killed Tomoe, who was supposed to be Akira's wife, after he got that cross, he said he will never kill again. He started to be a wanderer. He could have been, they in the anime and in the manga, they keep saying that Kenshin, you could be a a top official in the army. You can have a great military position, but Kenshin denies it every time because he knew after the death of Tomoe and Akira, he knew that, and he knew in his heart that he had to live the rest of his life in repentance, just like King David. When God spared David, when God saw what he had done and cursed his life, David, from that moment, David had to live a repentant lifestyle, a life, a life of repentance in the eyes of God. The whole earth is full of God's glory. Let us all pick up our crosses. Let us all deny ourselves. Let us all live a lifestyle of repentance. As it is written, whoever doesn't bear his cross is not worthy of him. Rurouni Kenshin proves that God is real.